All right, welcome to the last scheduled talk here before lightning talks. This is Zhou from the iRODS Consortium. He's a web developer with us, and he's going to tell us about the work in Metalnx last year. I think we've had 3 releases. And then the work that he's mostly helped with is the GalleryView, which is a new way to see things in Metalnx. Here you go, Bo.
All right, thanks, Daryl. So I'm Bo, and today I'm going to talk about the Metalnx 2.4.0 with GalleryView. So since last year, Metalnx has 3 big releases. So it fixes for the error messages and containerization, and it fixes for the CSV export, and also it supports for anonymous logging and pluggable search, and also this gallery view of collection. So a little bit of configuration to enable the gallery view. So first of all, you need to have an iRODS zone, iRODS rule for that provides full logical path to the thumbnails. And also you need to provide the proper rule engine instance name in the Metalnx.properties file. So you need to have this field correct to enable the gallery view. And also we have an example iRODS rule that is provided for a reference. So this is the gallery view, and basically it is based on the Vue.js framework, and it's a grid of files and subdirectories, just like what we have, for example, on the Mac, we have Finder, and you can turn it to the gallery view or thumbnail view. But we also add some more features to it. So we can have a hover field that users can fully customizable. You can provide those hover information in the role engine. And also those paths on the top here are really navigatable. So like the normal collection browser, you can go to other places as well. So you might wonder what happened if I click on either directory or file things. We won't really open a file, right? So for sure, obviously, if you click on the subdirectory, it will take you that directory. And clicking on a thumbnail will take you to this detail page, which will show you all of those metadata permissions. And you can also have a preview of the original size image, which is really nice. I think that's a really quick slides and speak. Is there any questions?
Fastest 25-minute talk
I think
ever.
it's really straightforward. So I think people here are all clever.
Very good. I think there are a couple people typing.
Okay.
Let's see. We've got Ingrid is clapping because less is more.
Sure.
So she appreciates that. Alan says a lot of the system metadata being displayed on the data object details are typically tied to replicas. And how is that derived? And I think that is the way that Metalnx is/was. Bo did not make that page. That's right, Bo?
No, I just forward or just point to that, like the collection detail page built before.
Right. So if you were on the list view, or the table view, and you clicked on that same thing, that's the page it would be taken to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the target of a click is just what he's showing here. Yep. I think that that information. I'm not sure what the jargon library underneath is doing in terms of pulling out those timestamps. Which one is, because that checksum, those timestamps and things, those are replica specific. Right. And so in a system that has more than one replica, I don't know the answer, Alan, which one that is. We can look it up. Mm-hmm. Do we have a list of file extensions that the preview of Metalnx works with? Yes, but I do not know the answer. It is. I know it can do PNG and JPEG.
Mm-hmm. I think most of the image should support, because when I test those functions, like it all work. So I cannot think of an edge case, but I think most of the files should work.
I don't know if it renders like text files like TXT or JSON files, things like that.
No,
but that's easy enough to test, and we can look at it. Again, that's part of the inherited code base. We haven't looked at that too much. Mike Conway says that it is actually getting the first replica by default in terms of the information being shown here. And
okay.
Can we see how the underlying implementation communicates with iRODS on the back end? Yes, maybe. So
well, I was thinking specifically about the policy invocation, that this is driven by policy, I think would be interesting to the community.
That's right. So Bo, can you click to the GalleryView.md in the repository? I think you linked to it in here somewhere. Yes. So this, so you can see that the rule name there that's the contract between what Metalnx is doing, what the GalleryView code is doing. It's hitting a particular policy rule on the server, which has to be made available and installed. And then the idea is that the results of whatever rule you write, this is the example rule that I wrote with Bo to produce the JSON that Bo expects to get back from that call, from hitting the rule. And so if you scroll down a little bit more, it will show you so that's the results of what's coming back for the image that's shown above, which was just, the thumbnails directory itself, and then, or I'm sorry, collection, and then as well as the one single PNG file or data object. And so any rule that you write in any language that iRODS supports, as long as it produces this style of output, then that's what Metalnx is currently expecting. Does that answer the question, Jason?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, we have talked about whether Metalnx should hide, dot files or dot directories by default. We can make it a toggle and pick a default. And that way, maybe your thumbnails sit in a dot thumbnails collection, or they could sit anywhere else in your logical namespace. That's where the policy decision-making can come in. So if you're deploying this on your own infrastructure and you already have a place where the thumbnails live, you can, as long as you can give full paths to them, they don't have to be sitting right beside the actual images that you're showing the thumbnail for. That was just the easiest way to get a proof of concept out the door and get the demos to work.
And depending on the deployment, they may have a completely separate image serving, machinery that would be providing those thumbnails. So, rather than building a logical path, we might be building another URL to, one specific resource somewhere else on the, local area network or WAN or whatever.
That's right. And I think Bo's rendering logic is straightforward enough that he could just, jam in. He's either going to jam in a logical path that starts with a slash, or, because on his end, he's just putting a URL in there anyway. So,
yep, that's right.
Very good. Let's see.
Yeah, Mike just correct me that you can also edit and preview CSV, JSON, text file, or XML file.
Oh, and PDF. So, Mustafa, that's the answer to your question from someone who knows. Very good. And of course, that's being detected right now, I think that's just by file extension. Is that right, Mike? It's not actually it's not looking in the file and looking at the headers. That's a whole nother question. All right. Very good. I think we've done enough, Bo.
Thanks, Daryl. I tried my best. 30 minutes.
Oh, you did great.
Thanks.